Shalom Aleichem, everybody. We just finished an unbelievable Zman in Yeshiva, an unbelievable year in Yeshiva. Baruch Hashem, it's been really, really great. And because a little bit of, have a little time on my hands now, a little more time on my hands, I wanted to share with everyone a very, very short Dvar Torah on the Parshas Shlach. For those just went back right now, I hope your return back was safe. You're reunited with your families, and I hope you're enjoying. And for the alumni that are a bit back longer, so again, it's very, very good for me to reconnect. So this Zman, the Kayit Zman in Yeshiva, we were learning Maseches Menachos. We were learning the sugyas of Tefillin and the sugyas of Tzitzis, and it is indeed fortuitous that was the lima that we had at the end of the year, and now Parshas Shlach comes up, and we're confronted right away at the end of the Parsha with the mitzvah of tzitzis. And indeed, when you take a look, I just want to share with you a very short idea from the Kli Yakar. The Torah tells us, "Ve'asu lahem tzitzis," you shall make for yourself tzitzis, and the tzitzis we know include, in the ideal, tcheles and lavan. And the Gemara and the Midrashim indicate that we have a tcheles is supposed to inspire us. That color, that deep penetrating blue, is supposed to, tcheles is doma yam, is to remind us of the oceans. And yam doma rakia reminds us, the yam reminds us of the heavens. And then rakia's doma is right there, kisei hakavod, and it's supposed to inspire us to bring us right towards the kisei hakavod. So the Kli Yakar on the parasha just identifies and indicates that there is a deeper connection in this transference, in this movement from Tcheles towards Yam to Shamayim to Kisei HaKavod. It's a little bit deeper. He says we're supposed to go ahead and be Ovdei Hashem, both Me'yira and Me'ahava. Yira requires us, we want to go ahead and break out, we want to do it all, but we have to go ahead and limit ourselves. Yira is a midah of tzimtzum, and indeed, the connection between Tcheles reminds us of the Yam, a lower level, here on this world. The Yam has a very strong desire, if you will, to overflow its banks. The Yam has a natural inclination, the waves, day after day, minute after minute, coming forth with a tremendous sense of power, and comes along the chol, the sand, and creates a blockage, and blocks the, if you will, the dramatic overflow that the Yam otherwise would want to do. That's really the midah of Yira, curtailment, contraction, limitation. And indeed, when a person's an Eved Hashem, he has to go ahead and have that midah. That's the midah of Yam. That's the midah of Yira, of limiting yourself. And indeed, the waters that want to go ahead and overflow, want to come crashing forth. So comes along the sand, the chol, and says, stop, halt. That's the midah of Yira. Then says the Kli Yakar, but we don't stop there. It's not enough just to be a Yarei Shamayim, just to be limited, just to fulfill, for example, the Lo Ta'aseh, which curtail us, which limit us, which say, stop, retreat, don't do. Then the Yam is Doma L'Rakia. And you look at the heavens, you look at the skies, and you look at their ultimate vastness. Just vast. It's there, and it's unchanging. It's not curtailed. It's limitless. It's infinite. And indeed, that's the midah. You look at a sunset. You look at a sunrise. You see the vastness of the heavens, both during the daytime and then the galaxies at night. It is just awe-inspiring. It's inspiring a midah of ava, of connection. And indeed, no coincidence that then brings us right there to that midah of kisei hakavod, of linking us in the most profound and powerful way of ahava, avas Hashem, and that's what Shamayim represents. So the Kli Yakar says there is a build-up over here, and there's different levels. There's the level of Yira, that's really what the Yam represents. And indeed, even if you look at the hue of the Yam, the colors of the Yam, not as sharp, not as defined, not as, if you will, glorious as the color of Shamayim. Shamayim is a much more glorious kind of color. The intensity of the sunlight, of the clouds, of the stars is even more dramatic. That's the midah of Ahavas Hashem, bringing us, wanting us to yearn for the infinite, to yearn, to strive, to achieve, to be limitless and boundless in our Avas Hashem, and that's how we go ahead and connect to the Kisei HaKavod. So it's this process that the Tcheles and the Tzitzis remind us of, and it's not a coincidence, therefore, that yes, the colors are similar, but each level of color gets more intense, more defined, and we travel from the stage of what seems to be the very mundane chutim of Tcheles and Lavan, and just simple strings, but then the strings bring us closer and closer from Yira to Ahava to Kisei HaKavod. It says the Kli Yakar, no coincidence, that we have 8 strings, And we have 5 knots, the sum total of 13 on every set of strings, 13. 8 strings and 5 knots. And of course, what's the gematria of the word ahava? Of course, the gematria is 13. And again, the mitzvah tzitzis, the beautiful, inspiring mitzvah tzitzis, brings us to that sense of Avas Hashem. I want to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh, a Shabbos of building ourselves in Yiras Shamayim, Avas Hashem, ultimately our destiny linking in to the Kisei HaKavod. Have a wonderful Shabbos.